Do you know what kills most cold calls? It's not the rejection, it's not the objection either. It's the first 30 seconds of a cold call. Most salespeople can't even pass those 30 seconds. And it's not because the product is bad, it's because they sound like everyone else. And that's a big problem. So in this video, I'm going to show you how to fix this. I've made over 45,000 cold calls over the past 10 years in sales. And I have one universal truth, which is you don't lose a cold call during the closing. You lose a cold call in the opening. Because if you can't earn the permission to talk, you will never get the chance to sell. Here is what 95% of salespeople do wrong. First, they start with their product in mind when they start a cold call, instead of anticipating the prospect mindset. Let me give you an example. Let's say I start a cold call with, hey, it's Arno, do you have 30 seconds? Or, hey, it's Arno, are you interested in XYZ topic? You just ask for two things that your prospect doesn't want to give you, which is their time and their interest. So even before you started, the call is already over. So to avoid that, start your cold call with your prospect's nose in mind. What I mean by that is you already know by experience what they're going to say to you. I'm not interested, I'm in a meeting, I'm busy, send me an email, blah, blah, blah. So to avoid that, you need to anticipate their no's to eliminate them before they happen. So when you cold call a prospect, you're not there to waste their time. You're there to help them fix a potential problem that they might have and that you can solve. I start every single cold call like I'm talking with a friend. Why? Because when you call a prospect, you're not here to waste their time. You're here to help them. And by having that mindset, you drop the robotic tone. That's the first one. And the technique that I use when John, my prospect, says hello, I just say their name with intensity, conviction, and also smiling. So they say hello, I say John, John, John. Imagine someone says that to you. Like you can say, yeah. Like, it creates an emotion. And that's super important because tone of voice is everything in cold calling. And by being able to measure the tone of voice of your prospects, it will help you to frame the rest of your call. So after you get the yes from your prospect, or yeah, or you can rapidly understand if your prospect is in a good mood, sounds relaxed, or is in the middle of something and is rushed, or like in a bad mood. You can immediately feel this. If your prospect sounds relaxed, the approach that I use is I introduce myself and I ask them how they are doing. So, hey John, it's Arno from Scalelist. How are you doing? Or hey John, it's Arno. How are you doing today? Still smiling, still with a lot of intensity, and still here to create emotion. And usually, if they are in a good mood, there is a high chance that they answer, I'm good. How are you? So with this, questions from them, I can say, hey, I'm amazing today. Like, I'm happy that you answer my call. And then you can go into more personal stuff, things that you know about them or their company. And you can keep that prospect on the phone, asking them questions, sometimes for 3, 5, 10, 15 minutes. I know 15 minutes sounds crazy, but it happened to me that I was able to spend 15 minutes with prospects, and you can ask them all the questions that you want. And it's not even a cold call at that point. It's a proper sales call. You've qualified them from A to Z, which is fantastic. Second case, if your prospect sounds rushed or tense, in a bad mood, in the middle of something, you need to neutralize their rejection fast. So forget about the how are you doing type of phrase. Still introduce yourself and say, I've got 30 to 60 seconds. So it will be, hey John, it's Arno from Scalelist. I've got 30 to 60 seconds. By saying this, first it shows that you are busy too. It flipped the entire dynamic of the call in a sense that you have anticipated their potential rejection. And on top of that, that triggers respect and not resistance. In a cold call, your job is not to pitch, it's to qualify. So to qualify, you need to ask questions. And don't forget, the one who is asking the questions is in control of the conversation. So if you want to be in control of your cold call, you better be the one who is asking the questions. And the questions need to have a certain logic. So you need to know what questions you are asking to your ideal customer profile. And based on the answers that you're going to get from your prospect, you need to know the potential next questions. And of course, sometimes it doesn't work 100% because there are some use cases that you might not have anticipated, and you discover new things every time you do cold calling. But most of the time, if you've done that work, the next question, even if you haven't thought about it, is going to be a lot easier to anticipate. So the questions that you're going to ask are about them and the structure of their team. So for example, for Scalelist, I reach out to sales directors or VP sales or head of sales with at least 3 sales in their team. So which means that whenever I call a sales director, I can ask them, hey, I notice you have a sales team. Do you still have 3 people in that sales team right now? And even if they say no, I can just ask them, hey, okay, as of today, like how many people do you have? They can say, oh, I have 11 now. Okay, that's fine. I did not give the right number, but in the end, this is not the main problem. The main element here is for me to move forward, build momentum, keep the curiosity on, keep asking questions to make sure that I'm exploring and I'm digging and I understand the setup of my prospects as well as their pain points. Those are the most important point when you ask the questions to qualify the prospects. The step number 3 is about pre-framing your exit. I'm sure you're aware that most cold calls don't last for 20 minutes. They are in between 45 seconds to max 3 to 4 minutes. And if you've done your work properly during this short period of time, questioning the prospect properly, you would be able to earn some context about that prospect. And also, by asking those questions, the prospect will very easily understand why you are calling him and what is your solution or product about. The best way to pre-frame your exit is to at least know one of the pain points that they might have that your solution can solve. So of course you got that pain point by asking some questions, and that will help you tremendously for your call to action. So one thing that I use, for example, is I just tell the prospect, hey, I'm sure you guessed that I'm a data provider too, so that's why I'm calling you to understand a little bit more about your current solutions that you're using, etc., etc. For your info, we work with over 10,000 users, and I most of the time say, hey, you are in this industry and we work with that company and that company. And I'm not trying to sell you anything right now. I'm just wondering if you would be against seeing how we fix problem 1 that you just mentioned. So here, 2 things. They have a problem, and you've used would you be against. So by using against, would you be against, that formula is an interrogative question. So you ask a negative questions to get a no, and that no means yes. Because if I ask you, would you be against seeing how we fix problem 1 that you mentioned, you say no, and that no means no, I'm not against seeing how you can help me fix my problem. So this is how I pre-frame my exit. Knowing at least one problem, being very transparent about who I am and why I have been calling and asking all those questions. And then I push the problem that I know, and I ask them if they are against having a more a longer conversation about that issue. That's it. The secret to the perfect cold calling is not the perfect pitch, is mastering the first 30 seconds for you to be able to ask all your questions, understand what are the pain points of your prospects, and then move along. Master that, and everything will become easier when you will start doing cold calling. I have a surprise for you guys. So if you're not satisfied with the current email addresses and mobile numbers that your data providers are giving you, or if you don't have any data provider at all, go check out scalelist.com, scalelist.com, and sign up. And the first 10 people who will comment mobile numbers under that video will get 200 free credits on top of the 60 credits that we already offer you when you sign up. I hope you enjoyed that video, and I hope you will also sign up to try the platform, and I see you very soon. Take care.